Hello, my name is Daniel Sweetser, and I'm reading from my novel Hope Starts Small. And I'm actually going to skip the next chapter. Um, it's one of the most important chapters in the book, but it's also one of the hardest, and I don't think it's a right fit for this medium. So, uh, so we're not reading the chapter called Opa, and I'm going to be reading instead the next chapter, Grandma and Grandpa. Grandma's Gifts. Frank's mom and dad lived in Florida by the time that he and Constance had moved to New York. But they would regularly drive up to visit, and when they did, Frank's mom would always bring gifts. It would be an interesting mix of beautiful handmade crafts, exciting thrift store finds, snacks and treats, and games and toys for the kids. The gifts she brought were often sealed in bags, well ordered and arranged, and the kids, Jeremiah and Zoe, Lily wasn't there yet, would always be excited. Often Frank's mom would bring with her a board game to teach to Jeremiah, and to his credit, he enjoyed the experience and would pay attention as best he could. Grandma was especially gifted at crochet. She would make the most wonderful designs. At Frank and Constance's wedding, she had made a lovely backdrop with doves and a wedding arch. It was spectacular. And strewn throughout Frank and Constance's home were small doilies that Grandma had made and gifted to them over time. At one point, she also began writing out Bible verses in crochet, much like a monk illuminating a manuscript. There were, of course, other things that Frank's mom had given which were harder to see. She and Frank were both prone to be driven and to not let things go. In Frank, this had made him determined and focused and capable of finishing large tasks with an energy that few others had. He got this from her. Grandma had done some amazing things. She had built an entire Candyland-themed VBS from scratch using paper mache. She was determined and diligent, but of course the gift was bittersweet. There were times Frank would have liked to slow down, but he couldn't. She had given Frank her creativity and inclination to dream. For her, it had been the dream of having a booth in a crafter's market. For a season, she even had one, but it was too hard to sell enough to pay rent, and so she eventually let it go. She had also given Frank her eagerness to help, no matter the personal cost. The unspoken determination to address a need and to see the thing through. These were good heirlooms. Of course, Frank's mom was not perfect. Every gift can be misapplied and in the process become a burden. An inability to let go, to slow down, to focus on the now. These were tendencies Frank saw in himself just as much as in his mom. But our Heavenly Father reserves a mercy all His own, whereby He uses the efforts of His children, feeble and conflicted as they are, for their good and His good purpose. Earlier on, when Frank's family had first bought the house in town, his mom drove up and spent at least a week with them. Soon after she got there, they discovered that the Pryor family's dog had incontinence issues that had ruined large parts of the floor and walls. When Grandma discovered this, she rose to the occasion. She got to work, and in the process, she also taught Frank how to fix subfloor and drywall, how to cut with a circular saw, how to paint and repair. The house needed this work done sorely, and it only happened because she was there. This was Grandma. Love expressed in determined action, regardless of personal cost, her eyes fixed on the goal. All right, thank you for listening. I hope you have a great day.